New videos every day.
Hello everyone, my name is Rachel, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you some interesting facts about the Aztecs. When the Aztecs went to war, they had three main goals in mind. Their first goal was to seize more territory so they could collect more tribute. Their second goal was to open more trade routes so they could sell their products. And their third goal was to seize prisoners of war so they can use them for sacrifices. The Aztecs had a pretty interesting view on childbirth and pregnancy. They considered a pregnant woman to be kind of like a warrior, and the whole birth process is kind of like war. So if she gives birth successfully, it's like she took a prisoner of war. If she dies during childbirth, then they consider her to have died in battle. The emperor, or great king, and the rest of the Aztec ruling class lived in the center of the capital city, Tenochtitlan. The emperor's palace was full of luxurious gardens, law courts, bureaucratic offices, and it even had a zoo. When you think about the Aztec Empire, what do you think about? Most people think about human sacrifices. And that's because about 20 to 50,000 people were sacrificed a year in the Aztec Empire. The Aztecs believed that wearing sacred animal regalia into battle gave them the powers of their supernatural spirit guides. When the Aztecs wanted to travel, they would travel by foot. They had a system of roads that were very well put together. These roads were paid for by tribute. So when people were traveling, they had places along the way to stop and rest and eat, and restrooms to use. There were couriers that were often traveling on these roads, and these couriers were letting people be informed about events and keeping them on the in. These couriers were also watching after the road, looking after it, taking care of it. So because of all the surveillance, it was so safe that even women could travel alone. The Aztecs had four main social classes. The first and highest of these social classes was the Pipiltin. These were the nobles. Now, originally the classes weren't hereditary, but if you were a son of Pilis, you had, of course, more resources than other people. Eventually, though, it did take on a hereditary basis. The next class is called the Maceo-Altan class. They were originally peasants, but later they became more dedicated to arts and crafts, and their works were very important to the Aztec culture. So the next class is the slave class. Now this class is very important to Aztec civilization, and there were a few reasons why someone might become a slave. It could be because of debts, because of criminal punishment, or because they were a prisoner of war who was forced to be a slave. So as a slave, you're allowed to have possessions, and you're even allowed to have other slaves. But because you're a slave, all of your money and animals and other possessions belong to your master. So there's a few ways that you can become freed. One way is to buy your freedom. Another way is if you or one of your children is married to your master, or if your master dies, then if you've shown good enough service while he was alive, then you can become free. And the last class is the traveling merchant class. It was a small class, but very important. The reason for this is because they generated money and they traveled across the empire and even beyond the borders, giving information. So a lot of the time, merchants were employed as spies. So what did an Aztec warrior do during peace times? Well, the only occupation that was considered to be worthy of a warrior during peace times was poet. So there's actually a lot of really good poetry out there done by Aztec warriors. So you might want to look that up to get a different idea on the Aztec warrior. Aztecs were very much into the arts. They had kind of a theater going on where they would have either like a comedical performance with music and acrobats, or they would have a dramatization of one of the stories of their gods. In upcoming videos, we're going to be having more anthropology videos on civilizations such as ancient China and ancient Japan. In a future video, we're going to be giving you some facts about STDs. Thank you again for watching one of my videos. I hope you learned something interesting about the Aztecs today. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel now. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them for me. Also, please rate my video and let me know what you think of it. Really like to know what you think. Thank you. Bye.